The Amazon landscape contains 1.4 billion acres of dense forest. This is equivalent to half of the planet's remaining tropical forest. Over the last 50 years, Brazil has destroyed much of the Amazon rainforest. This is due to government incentive and a growing need for citizens to farm for survival. Brazil Amazon has lost an estimated one-fifth of its forest cover. The accumulated area of deforestation in the Brazilian Amazon rose from 41.5 million hectares in 1990 to 58.7 million hectares in 2000, an area close to the size of Paraguay and Uruguay combined. One example of this issue is the state of Rondônia, which is in the western Brazilian Amazon and is the home of 208,000 square kilometers of forest, has now become one of the most deforested areas in the Amazon. Within the last 3 decades, a total amount of 67,000 square kilometers of forest has been cleared. The amount of reforestation in each decade has been increasing, with an initial annual total of 4,200 square kilometers in 1975 to a total of 67,000 square kilometers by 2003.
There are several reasons for growing economic pressure to convert Amazon forests to crop fields and cattle pastures. First, large areas of southern and eastern Amazonia have eradicated foot and mouth disease, allowing the region's cattle and swine industry to export out of the Amazon, often for higher prices. In the last decade, about 13 hectares of the world's forests have been replaced by farming and cattle ranching. Brazil only contributed 44% of this loss of the world's forests. Second, the rising international demand for agro-industrial commodities is colliding with the scarcity of appropriate land for agro-industrial expansion in the USA, Western Europe, China, and many other agricultural countries. As a result, much of the recent surge in the global cropland area expansion is taking place in Brazil. Third, the rising price of oil has triggered new national policy initiatives in the USA, the European Union, and Brazil that feature the expansion of biofuel as a substitute for gasoline and diesel. These reasons increase the rate at which the rainforest is deforested, which affects in several environmental elements. One of those is the absorption of CO2. The tropical rainforest plays the role of a carbon sink in which the carbon in the atmosphere can be stored by the growing plant life for prolonged periods of time. A forest ecosystem is a sink when it effects a net removal of atmospheric CO2. The sink results when the uptake through photosynthesis results in an increase in the sum of the carbon stocks retained in the forest vegetation itself, and in the stocks of organic carbon and other material derived from the forest.
At the beginning of the 21st century, the science of climate change emerged as a significant body of work asserting the relationship that exists between deforestation and emissions of carbon dioxide. Evidence has shown that increasing the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere can accelerate the global warming process due to an increase of greenhouse gases. The trees of the Amazon contain 90 to 140 billion tons of carbon, equivalent to approximately 9 to 14 decades of current global annual human-induced carbon emissions. Reducing global warming will be very difficult if emissions of carbon from tropical rainforests worldwide are not curtailed in the coming years. There is a clear link between the health of the Amazon and the health of the planet. Because of this problem, starting in 2002, the government of Brazil implemented drastic measures to reduce deforestation. The government launched the Program for Protected Areas in the Amazon in 2002, which had the objective to protect 563,000 square kilometers by 2016. 2 years later, the government created its first action plan for the prevention and control of deforestation in the legal Amazon. The legal Amazon represents the largest Brazilian socio-geographic division and contains 9 states in the Amazon basin. The PPCDAM, through the creation of monitoring and surveillance units, reduced deforestation by 59% from 2004 to 2007 and is considered a success. This research shows how deforestation in the Amazon's rainforest not only impacts Brazil's climate, but also the climate across the entire globe. This deforestation causes CO2 emissions to increase at extreme rates, and as a result, these gases increase the greenhouse effect. In the early 2000s, the Brazilian government saw some success in reducing land clearing practices, but new obstacles in government and incentives to clear land have appeared and have yet to be dealt with. The Amazon rainforest is now under threat again, and if humanity does not intervene, it can have a significant impact on the collective efforts of mitigating climate change. We need to find solutions that fit the need for lumber, housing, and agriculture, but also protect the rainforests.